Welcome to Fairy Pixel Dust. My name is Heath Johnson, and today I'm going to show you how to assemble all of this and turn it into this. Now, stay with us till the end of the video, and I'll provide details on how J.R. Mattos Designs and Fairy Pixel Dust have combined forces to provide not only the best mega tree, but also the best sequences for your mega tree so that your mega tree can look like this. We'll have specific discounts and different sales at different times. So follow us to the end of the video and I'll have instructions on how to get those discounts from JR Mattos and Fairy Pixel Dust. So stay with us. Now, what do we got here? We've got the 16-foot JR Mattos Sasquatch modular tree. Now, if you saw one of my last videos I did a couple years ago, I built a 22-foot tree with 4,000 pixels. One of the biggest questions I had was, how do you store that 22-foot long mast, right? It's a big pole to store. And JR Mattos solved that problem by making a modular pole design. So today I'm going to go through the process of assembling the entire modular pole design, show you all the details of how it goes together, how it works, and some of the advantages of it. But take a look at the parts here, right? I've got all the Megatree pixel strips stored in the bins here, my star, some of the ground anchors and guy wire system. And this is the Mattos Megatree modular system, right? So this is going to be a 16-foot tall tree. I've got a 6-foot hoop base, and we're going to assemble the entire thing together. So let's take a look at some of the details on this system. So in my last tree, you saw it was a 22-foot long mast, right? And so that's the square steel pole, 2-inch square steel. So that would have been made out of a 22-foot long piece of steel that looks just like this, right? So this is 8-inch steel wall, 2-inch square tube, and it was 22 feet long. Very difficult to store if you have a small garage, like I do now as I've moved here to Florida. So to make it easier to store, Mattos has designed this system with a modular pole design. Now this is a mast. This is the main pole that goes up. Now take a look at this. This is 5.5 feet long. It's drilled out for each of these pieces. So here we can see the drill anchor points here, right? So it's all drilled, ready to go. So we can put them together. But look how thick this is. This is about 1/4 inch, 2-inch steel mast. It's going to go up. It's a lot heavier than the previous version that I built. Next, for the hoop, we've got the square hoop, and this goes together. It's 4 pieces, turns into a 6-foot hoop. And again, this is all pre-drilled, so we can put it all together. And then we've got the Mattos winch. This raises and lowers the topper without the strips on it. So if it gets windy or you need to do any repairs to your tree, you can quickly and easily lower the topper and fix your pixels. This is the Mattos top of the tree, right? So the winch cable goes over the top, and this helps it to be able to raise and lower the topper on the tree. And then here I've got the Mattos 48 strip topper, right? So this is the topper. It's got 48 ports on it so that I can hang 48 strips on it in 360 degrees. I've got it set up to hang 24, so I'm going to do a 180-degree tree. I've got the 4 guy wire connections on here, right, for these. And then on the top, we've got the hook for attaching the winch to this. Next, we've got one of Mattos's portable holes, right? So this is a portable hole that doesn't get buried in concrete. This actually just get some legs, right? So we're going to put 4 legs on this and then stand the tree up. This is super easy, way easier than trying to haul around and create that concrete portable hole. It stores really nicely. Then, as part of the modular design, these go inside the mast, right, to join those 5.5-foot pieces. These are then threaded with these for these bolts. So I can bolt all of it together and hold together the Mattos Sasquatch tree pole mast together in one long piece. And you can get this in two masts or two sections, three, four, whatever length you want. Just know the higher you go, the heavier it gets. So this is just kind of the piece that helps bind together the two pieces. And then we've got the uh, star mount system, right? So this is the star mount system from Mattos. This will attach to the topper, so I can attach the star onto the topper. Next, we've got the ground anchors, right? These are 30-inch ground anchors. They corkscrew straight into the ground. And then I'm going to attach my guy wires to this to help keep it stable on high winds. Next, I've got the guy wire itself. So this comes up a lot in the quick Q&A on the last video I posted. So this is 1/8 stainless steel guy wire. Purchased this on Amazon. I'll put the link below. So we'll use this to help stabilize the tree in the high winds. Then to put tension on top the strips for the lights, we're going to use bungee balls. And I'll show you how to use these as well and attach it to the base and get tension on those lines so that everything looks nice and straight. And to finish it off, we've got the Boscoyo 36-inch 6-ring star. This I've got loaded with Mattos pixels that I purchased from Mattos' site. Then in each one of these bins, I have the Mattos pixels. These are all the pixel strips. These are Boscoyo pixel strips. I have, again, the Mattos blue pixels inside each of these strips. And I've got them all loaded and put them together. I showed a separate video on how to load those mega pixel strips or the mega tree strips quickly and easily. So I've got all 24 strips here ready to go. First up, we're going to start with the base and how to put this together, right? So it's pretty simple. You got the pre-welded portable hole. I have purchased these additional legs. So these are 3 foot long, so it'll fit my 6-foot hoop perfectly. So all you have to do is slide in these pieces and put these bolts in. Now, also add, JR includes a full instruction book for how to assemble this. So if you need instructions, he's got them here. Everything's nicely detailed out in the instructions on how to put this entire tree together. But we'll show you in this video how to go through the process and get this stood up correctly. All right, so we've got the base put together here. We only got 3 legs on it because that's how we're going to start. We need to be able to lay this down so we can get the mast in it first. So next, we're going to put together the mast. All right, so here I've got one of these already put together. And you can see how nice and clean these go together. Again, here's one of the pieces, and this is the third piece of the mast. So they simply slide into here like this till you get the holes to line up. And then the kit comes with these bolts. So you simply insert the bolts and tighten these up. Now, I recommend as you put this together, you just kind of get these in finger loose, just get them started. You can even sink them down just a little bit here like this, just kind of get them lined up. But leave it loose like this at first because you got bolts on both sides. And it gets a little difficult if you tighten everything up right away. So go ahead, leave them loose, but get it all started and put together. And then you just simply slide the pieces together until you have your mast fully assembled. And there we have our pieces. So now I'll attach this one to this segment here, and we'll be ready to stand this up and get everything going. All right, next up, now that we've got 3 sections to pull together, we're going to attach the winch. Now to do that, we simply leave out 2 of the bolts on this, right? So that's where 2 of the bolts actually get attached for the winch. So we're going to go for a hole on top and then the longer one on the bottom here, and that's going to span these 2, hold the pole together and hold the winch. So real simple process. Simply put your bolt in your washer and through the hole and get that tightened up. And then it's a little trickier You might have to run the cable out, but should be able to get your other bolt in there, and then tighten that up as well. And then next, we'll put on the topper and the pulley at the top. All right, much easier to get these bolts in with the cable run out on the winch. So pull all the cable all the way out, put the two bolts in, and now we can get the bolts nice and tight in here. And it's really easy to get them in there this way. I'm gonna make sure you get these tightened up. Nice. So that's all nice and tight. We got our two bolts in there, and we're good to go. All right, next up, now that we've got the three segments together, we've got the winch attached, we're going to go ahead and slide the topper on, and then we're going to put the pulley on the top as well. Get the cable all threaded through that and put tension on it. So with the winch on the top side of this pole, now we simply take our hook and we're going to put it right through the topper here. So it just takes a little finagling to get this through the hole, and then we're going to go over the top of the pulley on the end. All right, so then we've got the pulley. This simply just slides on top like this. No bolts or anything. Tension keeps it down. All right, so there we've got all the pieces together. So the three pieces of the mast. We've got the pulley attached and bolted on. We put the topper on, ran the pulley cable through it, put it all the way through the pulley, came around the other side, and then hooked it to the eye hook on the other side. And so now the winch will actually raise and lower the topper here for the entire system. So with that, we'll move on to the next step. All right, with all those pieces on, next we're going to attach the star mount, and this is just simply the bolt that goes through the topper here. We'll get this bolted on, and then we'll be ready to stand this whole thing up. All right, we've relocated to where we're actually positioned this tree. This is the one flat spot I've got where it's not sloping, and this will stand up nicely. So with this, I've got, again, our base laid down, right? So we can now slide the mast into the base, and then we'll attach that fourth leg. So we'll go ahead and do that now. Right. Okay, there we have it. So we've got the tree, or the mast stood up now. We've got all four legs on, and we are able to lower the topper to bring it down and start the next process, which is building the. We'll start the next process, which is building the hoop ring on here, and then getting this anchored down with the guy wires and everything next. So we'll go ahead and get started on that process. I think I'll do the guy wires next to get that set up. One thing to note with guy wires, I get asked a lot of times how long do the guy wires need to be? And so for me, what I've done in the past with the 22-foot tree is I've done 1.5 times the length of the entire pole. So this one is, I think, 16 and a half feet tall. So I'll measure out 1.5 times that length, and then have the guy wires cut to that length, attach them to the ground anchors then. So with that, we'll get started on the guy wires and go from there. All right, and then if you've not seen guy wire before, right? So this is that 1/8 gauge cable. And we simply got these locking U-bolts that simply you just loop the cable up through the eye hoop on the top here that I got attached to the topper, and then back down through this and tighten those bolts. And you repeat that process for all four of them and go from there. All right, so here we go. We've got the 4 guy wires installed now. And I also added, I want to point this out, the safety bolt right here. So what the safety bolt does is prevent if the cable snaps or becomes detached for any reason for the topper and it falls, it'll actually stop on this bolt and won't hit somebody in the head. Most people aren't tall enough then at that point. But just wanted to call that out. That is in the guide and included with the kit. So with that, we're going to move on next to setting up the hoop around the bottom. All right, next we're going to put together the hoop for this across the bottom. All right, so the hoop comes in this, I ordered the square tubing, round too, and this is the 6 foot. So each of these edges are tapered and they simply go together like this. And then it's also pre-drilled for some bolts to attach it to the base. So a real simple process, as you can see, to assemble this hoop. Love this thing. And goes together really easily. And just like that, we've got our hoop. Now, let me take it apart again so I can get it around the tree. Okay, so the hoop attachment points that came with the kit that I got have 2 holes on this little angled piece of steel. 1 hole here on the bottom and then 2 on the top. So on the bottom or on the inside edge of the hoop are 2 holes. It's already pre-drilled and I believe tapped. And this comes with some Allen bolts as well. So I'll be able to attach these to the hoop and then attach them to the leg. I'll have to drill into the leg, maybe with some self-tapping. I think it says to use some self-tapping drill bits to actually attach it to the leg there. And then that will get this piece on there and attach the hoop to the base. So we'll follow up when we got this all attached. Okay, here we go. So I've got the clips for the hoop now attached. You can see I've got the 2 bolts. These 2 were threaded into the hoop, and then because I supplied my own legs for this, I had to drill and use a self-tapping bolt to attach this clip. And so repeat this process on all 4 legs and the hoop will be attached and you're good to go. So next, we'll continue on with attaching strips and actually getting lights on this thing. Let's go. All right. So next, we're going to attach the pixels with the strips to the topper and get it all loaded. Now, hopefully, when you pushed your pixels, you did this in the right order. Because on this one, I'm doing 24 strips, and I'm going to do zigzag up and down 4 times for one connection. So you want to make sure that you've got your pixels pushed in all the right direction, so you can zigzag it up and down and connect every other strip together. I'm running these, so this is 100 pixels per strip. I'm running them at 30% brightness, and so that reduces the amount of voltage necessary. So I've run multiple times in the past, 400, sometimes more pixels, without any reduction in brightness on that last pixel. So at 30%. So running at 30%, 400 pixels per connection to the controller. That's going to leave me with 6 connections to the controller for the tree itself, and a 7th connection for the star on the top. So with that, let's take a look and I'll just show you what I mean by getting the tops pushed correctly. All right, so if you haven't done this before, so the first one here is where our power comes in from the bottom. And so this is going to be on the other end of the strip. It's going to be these are Ray Wu ends on here. So this is power coming out, female end, and then this is the male end. So this is going to go back down the connector here. So I've got to make sure you get it set up so that your starting strip is the correct one to start on the lower left corner. connects up. These two will connect together, and then it's every other all the way across the top. All right, with that, we'll go through the process and I'll get all the pixels loaded on here and reconnected. And then we'll check back in just a second with putting the star on. And there we have it. So 24 strips attached. Next, I'll get the step ladder and I'll put the star up. All I have to do is zip tie it to this pole. Okay, there we have it. So now we've got the star attached, 24 strips installed, and we're ready to crank this thing up in the air and actually start putting tension on and attaching the strips to the base. So let's get going. All right, here we are with the final product of everything assembled and working. I got all the guy wires installed. All lights are installed. The star is up. Everything's complete. I'll have some links at the end of the video that show what this looks like from the road, and then go over any other additional details. As if you've got questions, please post in the comments. I'll get those answered as quickly as I can while you're considering what to do about your mega tree. So with that, let's take a look. I'll give you a little closer look at what this looks like underneath and inside the tree so you can get a good idea of how this works. All right, so let's take a closer look at the tree here so we can see the final product of the entire process of what this looks like in the end, right? So this is um, 24 strands, so it's the 48 port topper. So I got 24 strands. I put in 100 pixels per strand, and then this is using the 6-foot base. Now, using this base, I did realize that it's just shy of being able to actually use all 100. So I do have down here in the bottom a handful of pixels um, that are I have pulled out because I don't have enough space at the bottom, right, for the strips to actually wrap around and continue to show these. So I'm at about 95 pixels for the strips here to actually complete this with a 6-foot circle. I think if you use the 8, definitely like or any other size of the hoop around the bottom, the circle, 100 pixels per strand with 3 sections of the modular pole would work perfectly, and you'd be able to use all 100. Now, here's a take a look at the guy wires here, right? So again, I use the turnbuckle system. This one I have planted pretty close to the tree. I'm trying to make sure that we're staying away from utilities and making sure we got those marked and all that before we started driving these into the ground. But I got the turnbuckle here to adjust the tension on this. So I've got extra wire here just because of I went 1.5 times, right? And this gives me flexibility as I reposition this different years. I'll have the wire to actually position it in different spots. I got this whole additional side yard here that's completely empty, and I may move the tree over there and use the longer guy wires over there next year. Let's take a look at the inside of the tree here. So as we take a look at the base here, right? So I've used bungee balls inside the base of the tree, right? So we've taken the bungee balls, ran them through the bottom, and then you can see here the bolts for the base are actually long enough to hook on the bungee balls and create the tension we need. So that's actually creating all this the tension for the strips. It actually does a really good job of keeping everything nice and even on all these strands, right? Now, one of the other things I've learned over time doing these 180-degree trees, this is the second one I built now, is you end up with all this tension on one side of the tree. So the pole ends up leaning towards that side because you got all this tension from all these bungee balls. creating tension, trying to keep this tight. So the tree tends to lean forward quite a bit. So what I do on the backside is actually put in empty strips, right? So I got about 8 empty strips here, no lights in them, just kind of creating counter tension the other direction to help keep that pole upright as much as possible. Um, and if we take a look here, right, we've got the Mattos winch, so that works out really well. And that's keeping the tension all the way up to the top of the mega tree itself. Anything else to call out here? So I'm running this again. This is 2-inch spacing, right? So that question does come up periodically. So this is 2-inch spacing. I'll put some links to videos of this running at night, and even put a couple demonstration videos in this YouTube video as well, showing what the 2-inch spacing, 6-foot base, 3 sections of Mattos modular Sasquatch megatree, all put together. So with that, now I mentioned stay tuned, right? So look in the comments or look in the description of this video here on YouTube. We're going to change it from time to time, but we're going to put some promotions in. So this is a little bit of teaming up between Fairy Pixel Dust and JR Mattos and Mattos Designs to bring you this modular Sasquatch tree video. So if you want to have a mega tree that goes together as easily as this does, and remember at the beginning of the video, when it comes Christmas time, I got to take all this down and store it. How little space this takes up. This is a game changer for storing a mega tree. Being able to have this put away completely compact. The last tree I did, 22-foot long pole, that's hard for a lot of people to store. So this one makes it very easy. Each of these modular poles are 5.5 feet tall, and it goes away very, very easily. So if you're interested in this and you want a Mattos Designs pole and you want the best sequences from Fairy Pixel Dust, look in the description below. We'll have coupon codes or certain sales, and we'll change the codes throughout the year and change them in the description. If you've got any questions, put your comments in the comments below. I'll get those answered. And I'm sure the team from Mattos Designs will be answering questions as well about their modular design. And I'll put a links to all the different parts that I've got here in this tree in the video description as well, with a full inventory of all the different parts and pieces. So with that, hopefully this was helpful for all you lighting enthusiasts that are looking to build a mega tree. And if you've got any additional questions, reach out and let me know. With that, we'll see you later and have a Merry Christmas.